Okay, 6.1. 6.1, we're going to talk about ratios and rates.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ratios and rates.
I hate ratios.
I
I don't want ratios.
No, I don't care. Miss Peters is okay.
I don't want ratios.
Guys,
So-
Guys, it's gonna be okay.
No, it's
We're
not.
gonna survive.
Okay, there are three ways. Hey, Gabby, turn around. There are three ways that you can write a ratio, okay? You can write a ratio of two quantities, A and B, where B is not equal to 0 in three ways. One way would be to write it like this, A to B, okay? One way to write it would be like this, A colon B could be. And then the other ratio would be as a fraction form.
A over B.
So either of those three are acceptable, but order matters, remember that, okay?
What do you mean by that? By like,
I mean, like, if it says girls to boys, then you have to list girls
Girls to
first and
boys.
then the boys next, okay?
okay.
So remember that order does matter, because if you did boys to girls, you're gonna get the wrong ratio, okay?
Okay.
If we did that in this class, that would look a little different, right? Because we have 2, 4, 6 girls.
Yep.
And we have 4 boys in here currently. So if we did girls to boys, it would be 6 to 4, which is 3 over 2, right? But if we did boys to girls, it would be 4 over
2.
6,
Or 6.
which is 2 over 3. Different ratio,
Yeah.
okay? So use the, okay. I'm gonna read a statement to you, and then you're gonna use this information to write the ratio in 3 different ways, okay? An archer shoots 60 arrows at a target with 44 arrows hitting the scoring area. So 60 arrows, 44 hit the scoring area.
spitting line.
Okay? 16 missing the scoring area. Okay? 16 missing the scoring area. And then it says, how can you evaluate the archer's performance? You can compare the archer's number of hits to the archer's number of misses using a ratio, okay? So let's figure out how to write this 3 different ways. I want you to write the number of hits to the number of misses 3 different ways. Give me one, Matthew.
60 to 16. 216. Does it ask?
Nope.
But it asks for the.
The number of hits to the number of
Oh,
misses.
that means scoring, right?
Yep.
I thought it.
Yes, Caitlin.
Would it be 44 over 16?
44 to 44 over 16, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes, and so what am I gonna do with 44 over 16?
Simplify?
Simplify it, what goes into both?
2.
4,
4.
and you get 11 over 4. Good, always simplify. A lot of you guys did not simplify yesterday on your test. Always simplify. What's another way to write that same ratio?
I know.
Matthew?
Thank you for letting me try again.
Okay.
44 to 16.
216. 44, 216. Okay? 44, 216. So then I would also want to reduce those numbers, correct?
Yep.
And so then it would be
11
11
to 6. Or
11
11 to 4, sorry.
to 4. Good. And then what's the third way to write it? Yes.
With the colon.
The colon. So you go 44 colon 16, but we must always reduce, so it's 11 colon 4. Stop talking. Okay? Now, let's write this ratio 3 different ways. The number of hits to the number of shots. Number of hits to the number of shots. Sonia,
44 over 60?
44 over 60, does that reduce
Yes.
to what? What goes into 44 and into 60?
Oh, I know. 2.
Bigger number. 4.
4.
4 will go. 2's right, but you would have to keep going. 4 goes into giving you 11 over what?
15.
15. Okay? What's another way to write it, Kaden?
2.
2. What's the word 2? So it would be 44 to 60, which yields 11 to
Oh,
15.
it's not even numbers though. But it's
What's a third way to write it? Yes.
the 2 decimal weird
The,
things.
yeah, the colon.
Colon.
Wow.
It's okay. I always forget what that is too until Caitlin reminds me. Okay? Don't forget to reduce.
Reuse or recycle.
Correct. Okay. Now, a ratio, okay? To compare two ratios, you can write both ratios as fractions or as decimals. Two ratios are called equivalent ratios when they have the same value, okay? So we're going to have this chart that I'm going to draw real quick. It's going to be the bird. It's going to be wing length. And it is average wing width. Okay, the bird is a white-tailed eagle. The bird is a European jay. You know, those European jays are different than those American jays. I don't understand how we come up with names for things sometimes. And a black-headed gull.
Oh my.
Don't ask me what type of birds these are, I have no idea.
I'll between eagle and
I got the eagle, thank you, and I got the jay. I don't know what a gull is.
I think
I
eagles.
Okay, you're probably right, kids, you might be smart.
Yeah.
It is
I saw
actually.
Cardi B.
So then this is 209, this is 47, this is 83, this is 8, 12, 30. Okay,
Peters,
yes.
what are we, are we doing the wing length in like centimeters or
I haven't
inches
told you
or?
yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, but I
Oh,
think it'd be
what
kind of-
measurement it's in?
I think it'd be kind of important to know, because 209 in meters would be kind of scary. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Okay. The ratio comparing the length of a bird's wings to the average width of the bird's wings is the bird's aspect ratio. It's like a legit thing. Who knew that, right? Gabby,
Me.
stop talking. Pay attention. You want to come sit by Bree?
Smells bad.
Okay. Then you stop talking and you won't have to. Okay, so it says the ratio comparing the length of a bird's wings to the average width of the bird's wings is the bird's aspect ratio. Order the birds in the table from the greatest aspect ratio to the least. So what do we have to do first?
It's a white-tailed eagle. Okay.
Find what?
The aspect ratio
Of
of the bird.
all of them. Okay. So the aspect ratio I said was the length of the bird's wings to the average width of the bird. Okay? So set up the aspect ratio for the first one, Hannah.
I just put the colon between it.
Sure, between what?
The 209 and the 30.
Okay, so you want to say 209.
Choose.
Okay, here's the deal. Let me tell you something here. Let me give you a hint.
I just put eagle.
If I do this with all of them, correct, and just put a colon, which you are correct, that is a ratio, does it give me a common denominator if I reduce down so that I can compare them easily?
No.
No. So what would be a good thing to do in this scenario to compare them?
Try to get them all up.
What?
209 over 30.
Okay, but if I do 209 over 30, I still don't have a common denominator, but what can I do with that?
Denominator.
Divide, and I would get a what? A decimal. If I have decimals on these, they'll be easier to compare. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay? Because I'm trying to save you some work here, because then you don't have to find common denominators. Hannah is right. I can write 209 to 30, but let's plug that in our calculator to figure out what the decimal is.
So that means we don't have to use long division?
Correct.
Yes!
What's 209 divided by 30?
6.96 repeating.
6 point.
No,
No,
9 and the 6 is
no,
repeating.
no, it's 6.96666.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just round it to 7.
Yeah.
Okay, now what? What's 47 to 12?
Sonia, you want to do that one?
What?
47 to 12, and somebody do 83 to 8.
I got 83 to 8 already.
3.9.
3.9 you said, and what did you say, Matthew?
10.375. It's close enough to.
Yeah, 10.3.
Okay, so now we have to order them from Least, from greatest to least, what's the greatest?
10.37.
So the goal, right?
Yep.
What's next?
Then the eagle,
Eagle,
and then the J.
and then the Jay, which makes sense, because if you think about it, a jaybird
It's small.
is tiny, yeah.
It's tiny.
Okay, so that's how we're gonna use ratios to compare some things, cool?
See?
Then, we're gonna come over and say, you host a party for 12 people.
No, thank you.
The food and drinks for the party cost $66. What is the cost per person? What do you have to do?
And how many people did you say?
You host a party for 12 people,
So you have to have the 12 times 6
and the whole party costs $66, so what do you have to do?
66 to 12.
66 to 12, good, agree, 66 to 12, which means what am I doing with 66 and 12?
Reducing it. Or dividing.
Divide, because I need to know how much it is per person, so I'm
Divided
gonna
by
need a
12?
decimal answer. Yep,
So dividing by.
so I'm gonna do 66 over 12, what does that give me?
5.5.
I don't know.
$5 and
5 cents.
50 cents. $5.50 per person is what you spent.
That's a good amount.
It's a pretty cheap amount if you're
Yeah.
feeding people. Okay? A jet flies 540 miles. Write this rate in miles per minute. Okay, this is where we're gonna set up some nice little ratios,
No
okay, and
thanks.
solve some stuff. So, you're traveling 540 miles, right?
Yeah.
And what does miles usually get measured in?
Miles per hour.
Miles per hour. So I'm gonna put it over 1 hour.
Oh.
But I want it in what?
Miles per, wait.
Miles per
Miles per hour.
minute.
Minute.
Miles per minute. How many minutes are in
60.
an hour?
So times it by 60.
Yep,
Over-
1 hour over 60 minutes.
Wait, why did you put a 1 hour on top?
Because 1 hour and 60 minutes is the same thing, right?
Oh,
They're
right,
equal
right.
to each other. So I put 1 hour on top so that I can cross out the hours,
Oh.
Okay. so that I can then solve for miles per minute.
540 and 60 divide into each other. So
So-
60 becomes 1 and 540 becomes 9. Or
Okay,
9.
so you have 540 miles, right, over 60 minutes, and you said they reduced to what?
9 over 1.
9 over 1?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really
9.
9
Minutes? Wait,
Miles
per minute.
per minute. So you're traveling 9 miles per minute? Yep, that's what happens when you are flying. It's a jet.
Dang!
Jets can book it, huh?
Yeah.
You guys ever gone flying before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only once
I
though.
went to England.
England.
Yeah.
World traveler over here. Okay, one more example and then we are done. This one is engineers designed a miniature robot that can crawl through pipes and vents that humans can't access.
Dang.
The robot travels 1 inch in 3 seconds. So it's 1 inch per 3 seconds.
Okay, that's really slow.
Okay. And then it says, how many feet does the robot travel in 4 minutes?
So wait.
How many feet does it travel in 4 minutes?
Do
Okay?
you have to change the minutes to seconds?
Or the seconds to minutes, yes, you have to change the seconds to minutes, good. What? Not by 20.
You still the same question.
How many no, new question. How many seconds are in minutes?
Wouldn't you have to do it behind? There's 60 seconds in minutes.
60 over what?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
60 over 3.
60
Over
seconds over what?
3.
No.
4.
How many seconds
1.
over what? 1 what? 1 minute. Because I'm changing it to minutes, so you have to set it up so that the seconds will cancel and the minutes will stay on the bottom. Okay? So if I do this,
60
right,
divided by 3.
seconds cancel, and I get 60 inches, right? Because the inches stays with this, over 3 minutes. Now, what do you have to do with that?
You can divide it, right?
You can divide it, yes,
It's 20 over 1. Or over
20
1.
inches per minute.
That is,
It is what you said, but not with the units.
Mhm.
Okay? You have to give me time.
It's confusing.
You have to give me units. What I'm doing is I'm setting up the units so that I can cancel them out and change it to the new unit that I need. Okay? So you have to know how time and stuff relates. Okay, but then it said, that wasn't the end of the question. It says the robot travels 1 inch in 3 seconds. How many feet does the robot travel in 4 minutes?
So we have to convert, wait, so that's only 1 minute. So we have to times it by 4, yeah.
Yeah, you have to multiply it by 4 minutes, right?
Yeah,
So if I do 20 inches
so it's 80,
over 1 minute, right?
yeah.
Times 4 minutes over 1, right? Okay? Is that correct?
Yep, equals 80
Equals 80 inches, correct?
inches, and then we
Because the
have to convert
minutes
it to,
cancel,
and then we have to convert it to feet.
then you have to convert it to feet. How many feet are in an inch?
12.
12, so I'm gonna take that 80 inches and I'm gonna multiply it, right?
Yeah.
80 inches over 1 times
12.
1 foot over 12 inches, yes?
You said how many feet are in an inch?
Oh, sorry. How many inches?
We all
are
know what you meant, Miss Peters, it's
Sorry.
okay.
So then you're gonna do this, right, and you get 80 feet over, 12, correct? Because I'm changing it 2 feet.
You can do it, wait, 12 times.
How many times does 12 go into 80?
160.
What?
Whoa!
12
6 times.
and 6 times. 6 times. Okay. So it goes into it 6 times, but is there a remainder?
Yes!
God dang,
Okay.
Matthew.
No, stop.
Everybody trips over just
Just relax, grab the tissue, cover it. Okay.
The tissue.
Okay, listen.
And
So
Put
it's
hand
6
sanitizer
feet. Okay, but what's 6 times 12?
72!
And so what's 80 minus 72?
8 over 12, and then you can divide it.
And then
8. I mean 8.
So then you get 8 over 12, and then it comes down to what?
Where?
What does 8 over 12 reduce to?
That's what this is?
Yes.
2 over 3.
2 over 3. So
Oh.
you get 6 and 2/3 feet. Do you see all that work I had to show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to see all of your work. Okay?
It is so long and hard.
Not
long and
hard.